Welcome back to GaleForceWins Season 2.
GaleForceWins podcast is proudly sponsored by Newfound Marketing, a digital marketing agency located in St. John's, Newfoundland. Visit our website at newfoundmarketing.ca to find out how we can help your business grow. Newfound Marketing, a complement to your marketing team.
Well, here we are in a beautiful sunny morning off the coast of Halifax, Nova Scotia. What a day it is. Jerry, you know, I love being in a conversation with people that are doing all kinds of different things in their life, making an impact on the society, the community around them. That gives me a lot of pleasure. I know it does you as well.
Well, one of the things you and I talked about with GaleForceWins is we like to feature a charity a month. We ended up talking to this young man down at the barbecue last night, and here he is. So let's introduce him, Alan.
Chris, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Chris Richards. I'm a sailor first class in the Royal Canadian Navy. My current trade is as a weapons engineering technician. I specialize in communications, so if it's broke, I fix it. I'm like the Verizon guy. Can you hear me now? But on top of my work with the military, I do a lot of charity work. One of the charities that I work with is called Canine Partner Assistance Dogs. And what they do is they provide service dogs to folks in the Nova Scotia community for folks with Ehlers Danlos Syndrome, PTSD, no matter what the background is, whether it's a civilian or military application, and autism. And autism kind of strikes with me because I'm a father of 3. I have 2 boys with autism, and we're currently in the process of going through K9PAD as a client to train my middle guy, Ryder, to train his dog to become his service dog. Now, Ryder is a nonverbal autistic. Currently, he's going through a phase with another rare disease called Legg-Cave-Perthes disease, so he's bound to a wheelchair right now.
Say that a little slower.
Legg-Cave-Perthes disease. So it's a detriment to his hip, and if they catch it early enough, they can do surgery to rectify it. Unfortunately, with Ryder, they weren't able to catch it, so he's got to go through the whole healing process, which can take a few years. So he's bound to a wheelchair right now. So we're training his dog Dublin, who's a gorgeous golden doodle, and remind me later, I'll hook you guys up with a picture, because the kids had him cut into a lion. So it's like every time I take him out for a walk, I'm afraid some animal activist is going to come by and say, "Get that lion out of here."
Yeah.
I think you're the tiger kid.
Right? No, Carol Baskins, don't come to my house. So going back to K9PAD, we are part of the client trainer program, so we've brought our own dog. We were on a waiting list for a service dog for Ryder for over 2 years with multiple different charities and organizations to see if we could try to get a service dog for Ryder. A lot of those are very time consuming. You can be on a wait list for 2 years, then it takes another 2 years to train the dog, and it's $25,000 for some of them. Some of them, we were talking yesterday, it's like $50,000 in Ontario. So we got put in touch with K9PAD through a mutual friend of ours. And as we got researching the program, we noted that there's 2 different service dog programs through K9PAD. The first is the program dog. What they do is they, as a registered charity, will purchase the dogs, have people in the community, volunteers. The whole thing is run by volunteers. The board of directors, the CEOs, all of it, it's all volunteers. This is all people doing this stuff on their own time, separate from their job.
Right.
They have their puppy raisers raise the puppies. The charity pays for things like the vet bills, the treats, the food, all that stuff. And at I think it's the 3-month mark, as soon as the puppy's old enough to start doing obedience training, they get loaded into the first module. The program's training, whether you're client service or program dog, is a 2-year it's a 24-month program. I say 24 months because it's not exactly 2 calendar years. There are some time off in between modules for the trainers because they work so hard too, and they're volunteers. So you know, we got to give them vacation time once in a while. So what they do is they'll do the obedience training. They'll do their initial service dog training, and then about 6 months left of the program, they'll match them up with the client that's going to be taking the service dog. And they start doing like overnight sleepovers, and they start doing like the client will come to the training sessions to create that bond with the dog. Now in the client trainer program, the one that we're involved in, we've brought our own dog into the program, so we're doing first module, second module.
Does the dog that you bring in have to be a certain age? Is it like a cutoff?
Or a certain type of dog?
So they'll be screened by the trainers. The trainers we have right now, highly accredited, highly certificated. If that's not a word, it is now.
You just made it one.
I did. There we go.
Yeah.
I told you earlier.
Yeah.
English is my first language, and I struggle with it. So,
We all do.
but yeah, they're highly papered, highly trained. Certificates out the side wall of their loft. So, they'll do the assessments. There's a requirement when you sign up for the client trainer that you have to have your dog scanned. We have to have Dublin. He's going to have a hips and elbows x-ray and everything to make sure that his joints and everything are okay. He's got to get that done in a few months here before he turns 1. And that'll qualify him for the remainder of the service dog training.
So, Chris, what specific service does the dog provide to a client? And it's probably different for every client.
It's different for every client. So, through all walks of life, there's service dogs for folks with eyesight issues. There's folks with that have seizures, whether they're epileptic or not. There's service dogs that are trained to go get help if their client goes down. So every service dog is different.
Right.
But every service dog has to meet the same criteria in order to be certified.
Okay.
It's just like an advanced lesson for the actual skills and things they're going to need to do for their specific client. For us, with Ryder, we're training Dublin more so to be prevent Ryder from being a flight risk, whether he's wheelchair bound or on his feet. That kid can, if you're not paying attention, that kid's gone. So Dublin, being a bigger breed, to be able to anchor him a little bit.
Right.
Ryder is also very sensory based, so he likes to be touched, he likes to be squeezed,
Right.
he likes to feel that and the deep pressure kind of on his lap and stuff like that. So Dublin, again, being a big dog, lay across his lap whenever he's having issues, right? If Ryder starts to go into a bit of a meltdown, Dublin will, even now, and he's starting the second module of training next week. So he's gone through his first module and graduated that. He's got 3 more modules to go. But he starts the second module next week. He's already instinctually putting pressure on Ryder, doing what we're training him to do as a service dog. And it's only early on in the training. So the more skills he learns skills like if we're at the doctor's office, to tuck in underneath your feet on the waiting chair to be out of the way.
Right.
And I've actually, one of the things we do on the weekend is he and I or my wife, and we'll take Dublin out and they'll go to like a Lowe's or a Home Depot or somewhere where they've got all their outdoor furniture displays up, right? And they'll go sit down and have them sit under the feet and check out all the people going around. And
Chris, it must be tremendously rewarding when you match a dog with a client. Tell me about that experience.
So I've not had the experience myself personally of matching a dog with a client through the training program,
Right.
as it is with the program dogs. The only experience I have is with bringing Dublin to the
Right.
program to be trained. But we were a little worried when we got Dublin because we had a smaller dog before and Ryder kind of pushed him away.
Yeah.
So the client trainer program benefited us, being that Dublin's a puppy, so he's infantile when we first got him. And Ryder, with his autism and global developmental delay, he's 8 years old, but some ways he acts a little bit older, other ways he acts a little bit younger. So with this extra time together, they've had a chance to bond And as Dublin's getting bigger, riders realizing that I can't bully this dog around, so he's starting more to accept them and be like, okay, yeah, you're cool to have around, that kind of thing.
So it sounds like a lot of life lessons for your son.
It's a lot of life lessons for the entire family, because Dublin is not just my son's service dog, he's a part of the family too.
So Chris, I've done a lot of work in charities in the past, YMCA and that. What can you tell anyone who watches this video are some of the most important needs of your organization?
Volunteers. I'll plug our website here actually, is www.K9PAD, so K9PAD.org. On there's descriptions of our programs, frequently asked questions, meet our team, so it's got who the board of directors are, who our trainers are, what their accreditations are. And then there's other spots like, what do you need as a charity? We're always looking for volunteers.
In terms of what roles, what kind of things?
Anything. Members of board of directors, if you want to be a dog trainer, if you want to come out and join me and my friends at the local malls in Halifax. We right now we're going out one weekend a month to Sunnyside Mall in Bedford, and we sell volunteer-made dog swag. So biothane leashes, biothane collars, snuffle mats, snuffle balls, basically anything that our volunteers will donate the supplies. They'll donate the time to build this stuff together, and then other volunteers like myself who, as you can see, I'm at sea right now, so when I get home, that's when I can volunteer. So I'll go out to the malls and I'll sell the stuff. All the proceeds from those sales go back into the charity to help fund more service dogs through. And then the other thing we do at those events is meet people and just kind of discuss like what's the difference between service dog and therapy dog, how can I get involved. For volunteers, we're always looking for puppy raisers too, so I mean, if we get a puppy through the program and something happens medically where maybe they've got, maybe there's a genetic defect in the family line that wasn't picked up until they do that hips and elbows scan, and it disqualifies them from being a service dog. Well, then the puppy raiser is the first one that will say, hey, do you want to keep the puppy? Or we try to rehome any retired service dogs back with the puppy raisers, or keep them with the clients that had them too. So the charity tries not to, we don't try to take it back when we're done. Yeah. It's like, you've had this service dog for 10 years, he's a part of your family now. Now that he's retired, would you like to keep him in your family?
It's kind of not fair to the dog to just pull him away from the family.
Well, and it's not fair to the person needing the dog too, because specifically on the autism side, anybody with autism, if they're set up with a routine, you want to do your best to try not to break that routine. And that's one more reason why we went with the client trainer program, is because in reading different programs that had been involved, one of the service dog programs in Ontario that was charging $25,000 was saying, okay, 25 grand, that's for us to raise your dog for the first 2 years, train it, whatever, and then you take the dog. But if they don't meet this qualification, if they don't meet this little tick in the box standard, then that organization would be able to come back in and take the dog away. I didn't want anybody taking a dog away from my son.
No.
So that's why I went with the client trainer program. Let's talk about fees for a second. 25 grand and you're going to be able to take my dog away?
Yeah.
Not that wasn't flying with me. The fees through K9PAD right now, they try to keep costs as low as possible. So they provide the program dogs at no cost to the person requiring the service dog. The only cost that comes with that is the $2,000. I think it has to do with the licensing. It's on the website what it specifically breaks down to. But I mean, if you're looking at a program supplied dog, one organization is saying 25 grand. Our organization is saying 2,000.
Yeah,
it's a no-brainer.
No, that's huge.
And the follow-up after the fact too. K9PAD clients, once you're a client, you're basically enveloped into this family. right? Like they started this organization back in 2016, and it was a way to get the ball rolling. They just received registered charity status last year, so we've got a CRA charity number and everything. Like,
Wow.
it's all registered, it's all legit. We're good to go. We want to get the word out there that hey, we exist.
Yep.
We're looking for volunteers. If you want to, anything you can do. You want to make leashes? Fill your boots and make leashes. You want to sell leashes? Come on out. We'll go out once a month, right? If you're willing to open your home and become a puppy raiser, for sure, come on out. And if you need a service dog in the Nova Scotia area, pop onto our website and check out, because our client applications are open for program dogs and for client trainer dogs. So,
Wow. I don't know where to begin. I mean, I've learned a great deal here today myself about the whole service dog and the client relationship. There was so much I didn't know that you just clearly explained to me, and I hope the audience gets that too. Jerry, your thoughts?
Well, I just want to say, Chris, one thing, you're serving your country, but obviously you're also serving your family and you're serving your community by having your association with this charity. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
GaleForceWins is really happy to be able to give a little bit of presence to what it is you're doing in the community.
Appreciate it.
Remarkable stuff, Chris. Yeah, remarkable stuff. I mean, here you are, a complex ship you're on, and you're managing the communication suite, and you've got this charity burning in the back of your mind. When you get back, I mean, you're an engaged guy. Canada needs more guys like you, I can tell you that.
Well, we're few and far between. It might be for a good thing in some cases, but I agree. There's so much that can be done. Even if it's just a little bit self-serving, it's still, I look at it as this benefits my family on a pie chart. This benefits my family 50%, but it benefits the charity 50%.
Yeah.
Right? So it's anything I can do to help the charity also helps my family.
Sure, yeah.
So it's exactly what you said. It's a win-win.
Yeah. Well, what a great conversation on GaleForceWins. And if you're listening to this and you get the chance, please check out K9PAD. Sounds like a fantastic organization. Lean into it. Help these folks out, because it's clear it's like a little startup right now, and you're going to grow it to something that's going to be very impressive.
Yep.
And my best of luck to Ryder in Dublin, and I hope that relationship really forges. And thank you very much again, not only for your service to our country, but service to your community as well.
Thank you.
Canine Partners Assistance Dogs, also known as K9PAD, is a registered charity located in Nova Scotia. The mission is to provide high-quality service dogs at a low cost for those in Nova Scotia diagnosed with Ehlers Danlos Syndrome, post-traumatic stress disorder, and autism. K9PAD's training approach uses positive reinforcement coupled with the least intrusive and minimally aversive methodology. K9PAD service dogs are trained by volunteers in Nova Scotia using purebred dogs from ethical breeders. Genetic health testing and a health guarantee are very important, giving the best chance of knowing the size, temperament, and health of the dogs when they complete training. Each dog goes through extensive training in socialization, obedience, manners, leash skills, service dog tasks, team training, husbandry, conditioning, and enrichment. K9PAD is 100% volunteer-based with no paid positions, allowing dog training at a much lower cost. If you are interested in volunteering, there are a range of positions that may fit your skill set and interests. K9PAD relies on the generosity of others in order to provide the best care and supplies for the service dogs. There are different levels of sponsorship available, from providing a few toys and supplies a month to sponsoring the entire cost of a service dog in training. Every contribution helps. For more information, visit K9PAD.ca. K9PAD.ca.
Thank you for tuning in to GaleForceWins. That's GaleForceWins, WINS.com.